All of them do.
Hmm.
All of them do.
Prophecy is probably one of the ones that's easiest to
Oh, it's
because you see it yes or no, right?
it's
Like it
the
happens.
well, it's the worst one
Yeah.
because people. I mean, Paul says test the spirits. Uh, don't despise prophecy. Test the spirits. People prophesy and they think, well, I'm giving a word, so either 100% it's right or 100% it's wrong. And don't and if it's probably wrong, so I will never prophesy. I will never
Hmm.
prophesy. When the truth is all of the gifts start off murky and become more clear as we go on.
Yeah, you have
All,
to practice it.
all of them require practice, which therefore means require mistakes. And that's why we don't grow in spiritual gifts, is because we don't want to screw up. But welcome to life.
Man, that nails me right on the head. Man,
Yeah.
that's
And so any spiritual gift, and I think if my theology is if you believe in Jesus, you have the Holy Spirit, period.
yeah, I
Um,
agree with that.
you know,
And you have access to all of the gifts.
you do. Yeah, you do. Whether you believe in a baptism that's a separate greater indwelling, or whether a baptism is just another way of saying I've really gotten into and practicing certain gifts. Um, all of the gifts we have, there's roughly 25 of them listed in the New Testament, depending on how you interpret a few of them, like celibacy or hospitality. We have access to every one of those gifts if we only will. Paul says, eagerly desire spiritual gifts in the end of chapter 12, or beginning of 13, whatever.
I'm not gonna eagerly desire celibacy, by the way. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, but you do. Every time you want to have sex and your partner doesn't, then you are forced to embrace it or not. And sometimes we're not next to our spouses, and we have to decide if we're going to embrace celibacy. Uh, Generally speaking, married couples don't die at the same time. So assuming there's any sex drive left at that point, you have to embrace celibacy.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, we can't avoid that one either. Celibacy is another way of saying walk in sexual purity,
And self-control.
self-control. So deliverance is one of the most beautiful gifts. I don't ever have weird, dark experiences, even though I've seen several thousand demons recently. I'm always laughing as they flee, and I'm always feeling full of the Spirit. It's why it's not like I'm a glutton for punishment. I love the feeling of the overflow and washing of the Spirit. I love seeing people get that thing out, just like a doctor loves pulling a splinter out of somebody, and they're like, "Oh, thank God!" I had mom and I used to do ear candling, where it's like you have this thing where you get
And
that.
that didn't and something fell into your ear.
Well, we got these cheap ones that had a little plastic, and I had
Oh
something jammed in my
gosh.
ear. And I went to the ER, and that doctor, it took a while, and it was a very painful process. But I got delivered of that piece of plastic in my ear, and I was happy, and they were happy for me. They were like, "Oh, we all feel so much better." It's not pleasant having it in there, but having it removed is incredibly
Gosh,
a
that's
relief. And I
horrible.
see that I see that at least once or twice a week. Somebody saying, "Oh, thank God," and we're
Mm,
all so happy. And deliverance is a beautiful ministry,
mm.
but there's a lot of pitfalls and issues that make it hard. I found a model to where it's very easy and it's very freeing, not
No,
just for
sounds like you really just rely on Jesus and his words, right? So
yeah,
if anything, at least you're speaking gospel over people.
yeah, yeah. So I encourage it. I think part of my mission in life is to mainstream deliverance as the gift and the blessing that it is.
Mm.
I never pray for people for more than an hour. Sometimes they want to keep going, and I'm like, yeah, we're done. But when we get, because I think you can get rid of them fast. These horror stories of having to pray for someone for 7 hours until you finally got rid of it. I just think it's just you just haven't learned how easy it is. You
Mm.
know, so it's not bad.
Well, yeah, I feel like at that point they're just getting ready, or they're becoming more willing to release it, right? As opposed to the demon is stronger.
Yeah, it's just a matter of the only time deliverance doesn't work is someone's not willing to forgive.
Mm.
And out of the 500, I've only seen that happen 3 times. And when they say, "Well, I won't forgive," I say, "Okay, well, we have to call a timeout because I'm not aware of any other ways other than the blood of the Lamb to dispel darkness." So we just say, if you change your mind and you're ready to forgive that person, then let's continue this. but it's
Mm.
100%. If someone's willing to forgive,
Mm.
deliverance does happen.
Gosh, okay. Well, that's
If there's someone who knows how to do deliverance, yeah, it's an awesome thing. That's why I was excited when you wanted to ask me about it.
Fresh on me, come wake me from my sleep and blow